Hello, Sec One. I know you love my weekend present. Okay, I have a short video for you on slope and how we use slope in physics. Okay, so let's follow along. Okay, slope or gradient, same thing, is how steep the line is. Okay, you can imagine yourself walking along a hill, and it's easy if the hill has no slope. That means zero slope, so you're just walking on even ground. Now it's harder if the hill has more and more increasing slope, or we say steeper. For example, so line A right here has zero slope. So let's say zero slope. And B has gradual slope, a little slope, so not too difficult to walk up B, but C is a little harder because it's more steep. Okay, now D is about impossible to walk up that hill because it's vertical. So we say D as infinite slope or undefined. So it's infinity. So C in this case has the largest slope. C, largest or steepest. Okay, B is somewhere in between. Okay, again, A, zero slope. B, a little. C is the largest one. D is undefined. Okay, pretty easy. Now, the slope of the line, if it's a straight line, is the same. Let's say at this point, the slope will be at the same as this point. So when you keep walking uphill, it's all the same. The steepness of this hill is all the same. Let's say you're walking that way, okay? So the steepness is all the same. Now, you may run into this one. This is not a straight line, it's a curve. So when you're walking up, right here it's very easy to walk up. Here is a little harder. Here is almost impossible, almost vertical to walk up. So how do we know that? How do we know the slope? Well, you need to learn the concept of tangent. And we talked about that for the car or an object going in a circle, and suddenly the car loses its friction, steps on ice, and then the car just moves off in a straight line, right? Let's say the car going around in a circle, and at this point loses friction, the car will move off like that in a straight line. It will not go in a curve, okay? No such thing. Okay, if you don't believe me, just go to ice skating ring. You would never go in curve, always straight line. Okay, so this is where the car will go if it loses friction. This is called the tangent. This line right here is called tangent. Okay, tangent to the circle. This line here is tangent to the circle at this point. So that's another tangent. That's a lot of tangent. Basically, a tangent line to the circle is a line touching the circle at only one point, at that special tangent point. Okay, same thing with this. So the slope at this point is a line tangent to that curve. The slope at this point is a line tangent to that curve. The slope at this point is the line tangent to that curve at that point. So as you can see, you got many lines tangent to the curve and many slopes. So that's how it works for a curve. Okay, so as you can see, this one is almost zero slope. This one is almost vertical slope. So it goes from zero, from something small slope, to a little larger, and to the largest slope. So this is called increasing slope. Increasing slope. Okay, and opposite is true for decreasing slope. It's gonna go like this curve. Start from big slope to smaller, to almost zero slope, right? So this curve is decreasing slope. So it's decreasing slope. Okay, enough of that. Now, how do we use slope? Okay, so slope is basically rise over run. That's how steep it is. So we have to come up with how to define the slope. See the difference between the slope of C and slope of B. So we take the rise over run. That's how we define how steep it is. So we can compare the two slopes. So basically here, I have 2 points that are easy. You can pick any 2 points, will be fine. Any 2 points. Okay, so 1 point is this one, 8 seconds and 40 meters. So this is the distance time graph. Okay, so let's go with 8 seconds. 8 seconds, I am at 40 meters. At 4 seconds, I am at 20 meters. Okay, so I travel from 20 meters to 40 meters in 4 seconds, from 4 to 8. Okay, so just take the vertical, the rise, which is 20, right? From 20 to 40, that's how far I travel. And then I did that in 4 seconds, from 4 seconds to 6 to 8. So 8 minus 4 is 4. So you got rise over run. So slope is rise over run, 20 meters over 4 seconds, which will be 5 meters per second. Okay, so as you can see, this is distance, this is time, and the slope give us meter per second. Wait a minute, meter per second is the velocity. So the slope of distance time graph is the velocity, give you velocity. Slope equal to velocity or speed. Okay, so that's one major concept. The slope of distance time graph is equal to velocity. So you can convince yourself by looking at this. So just take any 2 points. It doesn't have to be the points I chose. You can choose 0. 0, 0 is the easiest one. So choose 0, 0 and choose this point right here. So 4 and 20. So you start from 0, 0 and then you go to 20 meters in 4 seconds. Okay, so rise. So the rise will be 20. The run will be the 4. So 20 over 4 is the same as this, same as 5. Okay, so again, let me just write that down right here. Slope equal to rise over run. Rise is the difference in the vertical axis. Run is the difference in the horizontal axis. That's the rise, that's the run. Just like a step here. That's how we measure the slope. Now, velocity time graph. Okay, so don't get confused. This is dt. This is vt. Victor Tango. Okay, so this is your homework actually. So the first 2 seconds, you have gone from 0 meter per second to 8 meter per second. So that's your speed. So here, you may be at the red light, right? Your car is not moving. You're at 0 meter per second. And then when the light turns green, you start speeding up. So your speed increases from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 meter per second. Okay? And the slope is the same thing. So rise over run. So the rise is 8. The run is 2. So 8 over 2. 8 what? 8 meter per second divided by 2 what? 2 seconds. So let's do that. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Meter per second divided by second is meter per second, which is meter per second square. Meter per second square is acceleration. Remember that. Okay, so the slope of the VT graph equals to acceleration. If the slope is positive, it means acceleration is, you are accelerating. If it's negative, it means you're decelerating. Acceleration. Okay. Okay. All right. The 2 most important concepts. Slope of VT graph is velocity. Slope of VT graph is acceleration. And that is what you need to know about slope and physics. Have fun, guys.